Certain weak points or jam the turret or
Stop
something.
moving the tank. Stop moving the tank.
No. Push past it. Push past it. Just drive past that tank. They can't swing their turret.
Infantry behind them.
Hey everyone. In today's video, we're going to talk about the basics of tanking. This is going to be a very bare bones, basic video. It's also going to go over some things like angling armor and working as a team when inside of a tank. If that sounds interesting to you, then stick around. Before we get into the video though, I'd like to say I stream on Twitch Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 8:30 Central Time. Some Saturdays I'm not there because I have other obligations, but generally it's those days. So if you want to help grow the community and hang out, come join me on Twitch. Links will be in the description below. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. Alright, so to create an armor unit, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is go up here to create unit, the upper right hand side, go to armor, create armor unit. From here, you're just going to go ahead and enter combat. Usually there's tanks at the headquarters. We'll go ahead and spawn in here. You have three roles. You have the gunner, the driver, and the commander. So on the German side here, we've got two tanks on this particular map. We've got a medium Panther with a 75 mil long-barreled gun. I believe it's a 75 mil. And then we've got the heavy Tiger with the 88 mil. From here, we're going to go in the tank. You hold F. You start off, first position is the driver. The driver has to switch gears. So if you hit shift, you can go up to gear 1. Then gear 2, then gear 3, then gear 4, and then back down. And you go to neutral each time. You have to shift all the way through the gears to go to park and reverse. You hold E to start the engine. It takes quite a bit, but it also shuts off significantly faster. So you start that engine up and then you can move. If you hold F2, you will go to the main turret. So the gunner seat, you don't move with your mouse like many other games. You move with W, A, S, and D. This gives a much more realistic mechanical feel to the turret. That being said, turrets in this game move very slowly. So when you need to attack a target, let's say to your left or right, you need to coordinate with your driver, have them swing the whole tank around, then adjust your fire. That will be significantly faster, in many cases more than twice as fast than moving your turret. However, if you start moving your turret and then the driver swings, you're going to be way off target and you'll end up dying before anything really happens. Now, you can zoom in with your scroll wheel. When you zoom in with your scroll wheel, your turret movement speed, your aim speed, is actually reduced. So if you're trying to turn your turret as fast as possible, make sure to zoom all the way back out. In this particular tank, and most tanks, except for the light tanks, you have armor-piercing rounds, AP, and high-explosive rounds, HE. Armor-piercing rounds are to be used against hard armor targets. So those are your other tanks, and eventually half-tracks and things like that. So there's an AP round. Now, for an HE round, these are high explosive. These don't do very much, if anything, against armored targets. However, they are devastating against infantry. It's basically like a giant grenade going on. So there's your HE round. You can see. From here, you have a coaxial machine gun. These will continue to fire until they run out of belted ammunition, and then they will reload. Also, the driver usually, I'll switch back to the driver also has a hull machine gun. As you can see, the driver has a hull machine gun. However, they do not have a reticle, so they're kind of going off the tracers. The third and final position is the commander. The commander is extremely important, and I see very few tanks utilize this position because they can't get kills with it, so players don't want to use it. However, without the commander, the tank has horrible situational awareness. Without situational awareness and good infantry support, your tank is pretty much useless and will die extremely quickly. So once you're in, if you just click your scroll wheel forward once, you get out of the commander's cupola an amazing view in comparison to any of the other positions in the tank. And on top of that, you can actually, using clicking the middle mouse button, target. So you can call for fire. So the proper way for a commander to utilize this tank and the entire crew is the commander calls the shots, tells where the turret needs to swing, and tells when to fire. Maybe not tells when to fire, but at least calls targets and directs the driver. Because if the driver's acting independently, thinking he's moving the way he needs to move, and doing what he wants to do, the gunner's doing that as well, and the commander's trying to call shots, the tank is going to be in turmoil and it's not going to be effective. You need to act as a single cohesive unit when running a tank. If you're soloing a tank, you're going to always be significantly less effective. Now, I know there's going to be people in the comments that will say, well, I solo a tank and got 150 kills. Cool, good for you. But 9 times out of 10, that's not the way it is. 9 times out of 10, you need to be crewing a tank fully. It will always be more effective to do it that way. These tanks are designed to be crewed as a single unit, and that's how they operate best. Now, with light tanks cannot take hits at all. One hit from a Panther or a Tiger, and that light tank is down, guaranteed. Medium tanks like Shermans, they can generally take hits unless it's a Tiger tank and they hit a weak point. Now, I haven't been able to confirm this. I need to do more testing. But the commander's cupola, the driver's slit, seem to be weak points. We all know that the side and rear of the tank are weak points. Also, the top of the tank is a weak point. So if you can get an angled shot down at a tank, you will do a lot better. However, I do believe on many of these tanks, the lower glacis, the driver's slit, wherever the driver's slit is on this one, and the commander's cupola up here seem to be weak points. These tanks seem to be much more easily killed when you hit those points, and your rounds tend to bounce less. So keep that in mind. Also, other weak points. The tracks. Tracking a tank can keep it from moving, and then they have to call up engineers. Another option is this little point right here. It's called the turret ring. If you can hit in the turret ring, it will jam the turret. It's a little harder to do on a Panther, but if you can hit that turret ring, it'll jam the turret. Then all you have to do is move out of the way of the gun and you can finish off the tank. Another tip, if you are driving a tank and you come up against an enemy, if you park your tank here and put the barrel around, angle the body at a 45 degree, so that way any rounds that impact it go off and bounce. If you're taking shots directly, a lot of times those rounds will just punch straight through. Maybe not on a Tiger because it's so big, you know, it's got such a heavy front plate, but it's better to be safe than sorry. If you angle your armor, it will help significantly deflect the round. Other than that, those are some basic tips. I'm going to try and get some more tank videos out. Keep in mind, when working as a crew, work together. Have your driver swing that barrel. Also, drivers, do not move when your tanker is trying to shoot. If you even do micro adjustments, you will throw their barrel all over the place and they won't be able to hit. Do not move the tank at all unless the commander or the gunner says it's okay, because if they're trying to kill something and you just even make the tiniest little correction, you'll cause their shot to miss and it might go right into friendlies, and then they'll get blamed for it, but it'll really be your fault. So just keep that in mind. Other than that, that's the end of this video. If you guys liked it, throw down a like, throw down a comment of things you want to see. I'm trying to get more and more videos out there. I streamed Hell Let Loose on Twitch Wednesdays and Saturdays, most Saturdays unless I'm out camping or something, at 8:30 Central. And I've got a Discord where we're trying to build a community and hang out and talk about the game and talk about other realistic shooters and things like that. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, there will be links in the description below. Other than that, have a great day.